Music, via all of its styles and genres, gives voice to a people. The genre of reggaeton serves as an expressive outlet for the poor, the marginalized, the outcast, and those who have been put aside. This music style has allowed the people of Puerto Rico the space to rebel and express their voices and harsh realities. It has been argued that reggaeton has essentially raised modern generations across the world, specifically those of one of its founding countries, Puerto Rico. Whether the statement is agreed with or not, it cannot be denied that the historical development of the ever-evolving musical genre known as reggaeton has positively and negatively impacted the social and cultural development of Puerto Rico, while at the same time it has taken the music world by surprise, challenging the notion of what constitutes good music or not. Reggaeton's origins can be traced back to the music styles of Jamaican reggae and dancehall in Panama. Thousands of Jamaican workers brought their music during the construction of the Panama Canal during the 1850s. Many of these workers decided to stay in the country and would form their own diaspora communities in Panama. Eventually, the translation of English reggae and dancehall to Spanish songs would become extremely popular throughout the music scene. This was due to patois, a mixture of languages, and calypso being part of their culture, which was all about improving music on the spot. This musical scene would be found in Pan-Latino and Pan-Caribbean centers such as New York City, where Panamanians and Jamaicans mingled with Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, and African Americans, which would explain where such hybrid, resonant styles of the Spanish-language reggae could find a receptive audience. This is where pioneers such as El General and La Atrevida, also known as Rude Girl, began recording and promoting Panamanian artists. This would allow mixtapes to fly back and forth from New York City and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rican rappers such as Vico C pioneered Spanish-language hip-hop along with the Jamaican-inflected translations of popular dancehall songs that would have wide appeal in Puerto Rico. The genre would become characterized by the dembow rhythm, created by Jamaican dancehall producers during the late 1980s and early 1990s. Reggaeton especially became popular during the 90s with the song Dembow by Shabba Ranks, which became in high demand at Puerto Rico's nightclub, The Noise. This would mark the beginning of the Boricua underground, which would become a creative outlet for the youth. The emergence of reggaeton was not only defined by its insurgent youth culture, but by the Puerto Rican government's attempt to control the rise of this music style. This would also explain the name underground, due to its rawness and explicit lyrics that were banned from playing on the radio, generally considered illegal. Lower-class Puerto Ricans were the first to accept the new genre because people were tired of not having representation in the media. Reggaeton was frequently linked to violence, crimes, drugs, and hypersexuality. Thus, it was met with resistance.
En 93-94 la policía se metió en las tiendas y sacó toda la música underground de las tiendas. Pues nos obligaron en aquel momento a cambiar de lo que era la música underground. Te cuento que en aquel momento nosotros sacaron la música de las tiendas y nos obligaron a crear temas sociales. Ahí es donde creamos el D-Noise Volumen 3, que fue música romántica.
Eventually, reggaeton was no longer legal due to the increasing acceptance of it by Puerto Rico society, including the lawmakers that originally looked down on it. Despite how popular it became, it remained untapped in the North American music scene well into the late 2000s. When reggaeton came into the public eye, its sound had developed to include more instruments from traditional Latin music and began including more themes of sex and less violence to expand to other social classes. Yet the genre continued to evolve and the culture industry changed the nature of reggaeton to homogenize the genre and make it more mainstream. During 2006 to 2017, reggaeton artists topped the charts, with its 3.3 million certified sales plus track equivalent streams in 2017. Despacito became one of the best-selling Latin singles in the United States. Despacito's hit is a perfect example of how reggaeton has become more mainstream and continues to evolve to fit a broader audience. Reggaeton has currently evolved to different subgenres and incorporated new styles such as Latin trap and is now considered Latin urban music. Latin urban music and reggaeton have journeyed together for the past 2 decades and have collectively produced, enhanced, and transformed versions of themselves. In addition, the genre has become an adaptation that has resulted from recent developments in American rap and hip-hop. Nonetheless, with the evolution of music comes commercialization, thus causing many to want to maintain the genre's legacy alive by trying to keep the original rebel spirit alive. Regardless of people's mixed opinion about reggaeton as a musical genre, it is evident that its music has had a social and cultural impact. One such impact is seen as a result of the sexual imagery in the lyrics of its songs and the music videos as well. An example could be in J Balvin's song, Perra, where he says, The lyrics essentially dehumanize the woman by describing her as an animal in heat and seen as a sex object who is only there for the man's pleasure. This is only one amongst several examples of songs that promote the idea of non-consensual sex relationships and the view of women only as inanimate sexual objects. This is only one amongst several examples of songs that promote the idea of non-consensual sexual relationships. Despite the sexism seen throughout, women pioneers of the genre such as Ivy Queen, La Bruja, Camille, and others have tried to bring to light the sexism, racism, and homophobia not only in the Latino community but in wider society as well. Male artists such as Bad Bunny have also established himself as a spokesman against gender biases. Ever since, he's consistently been a #1 artist on many musical charts, including on features, remixes, and solo songs. He has taken advantage of his spotlight and influence and become the ideal ally in a society and musical genre where toxic masculinity and homophobia are still prevalent. Benito has single-handedly changed perceptions of what a male reggaeton star may look like and stand for, with his unusual dress choices, outspokenness against gender-based violence, and support for LGBTQ rights. Racism in the genre is not an issue that should be ignored either. Reggaeton's origins are derived from black culture and artists. Contrary to its origins, the lack of successful black artists in the genre falls short compared to those who are not of the race. This aspect of the genre can even be considered a reflection of the Latino community as a whole, and the discrimination expressed against black Latinos. A very recent example of the censoring of black reggaeton artists can be seen when J Balvin won Afro-Latino Artist of the Year at the 2021 African Entertainment Awards, despite himself not being Afro-Latino. This censored artists who did fit in the category and could finally be recognized for their work in the music industry. Despite the negatives, the economy of the island has benefited immensely from the musical genre. Reggaeton has helped put Puerto Rico on the map as the world capital of the musical genre, bringing in economic revenues and opportunities. Nelson Castro, the president of the Puerto Rico Show Producers Association and New Creative Entertainment Group, claims that the entertainment industry contributes around $2 billion a year to the local economy, as shown in a study done by the same enterprise. $150 million of that is collected by the Treasury in taxes. Moreover, despite the hostility displayed by members of other social groups and generations about reggaeton, it is important to remember that this music is mainly characterized by its rhythm of dembow. Thus, when it comes to reggaeton, there can be a market for everyone. As a result, various religious musicians have emerged to open up the music to their respective communities. An artist who has taken advantage of the versatility of this rhythm and has parted ways with the stereotypical denunciation of reggaeton is Héctor Delgado, known as Héctor el Father. Delgado was a pioneer and a key figure in the development of reggaeton music before he converted to evangelical Christianity, now making music to appeal to a more religious crowd. In fact, Farruko is another example of a reggaeton artist converting to Christianity who shows evidence of his beliefs in his new lyrics.
Señor, te necesito, aunque con mis actos yo no lo expreso, pero el disfraz que traigo carga demasiado peso.
The rhythm is for everyone. The lyrics can always be changed. Reggaeton has also been used as a tool for bringing awareness to social issues, specifically the political and economic crisis facing the island. An artist essential for this movement is Residente, also known as René Pérez, who is known for his social critiques via his music.
Entonces, yo me voy a encargar de que internacionalmente todo el mundo sepa lo que está pasando con este gobierno.
In essence, regardless of the criticism that many people have against reggaeton, it has become a global sensation, instilling a sense of pride for many Puerto Ricans due to the great contributions of Puerto Rican artists to this musical genre. Ironically, a musical genre that originated from marginalized communities has received so much massive worldwide support that it is to be considered an influential genre for both culture and people from all social structures. As a result of its influence, languages, styles, and personalities are developed from the characterized beat. Despite its negative elements, many people from different socioeconomic levels have found empowerment in the genre. Reggaeton has become a staple in the life of many people, and it has allowed for the creation of a new name for Puerto Rico and its musical legacy to the world.
Leyenda, a los nuevos, a todas las personas que trabajamos día y noche para estar esta noche en esta tarima representando mi género, mi cultura, mi idioma, la comunidad latina entera que nos estamos quedando con el mundo. Puerto Rico, te amo, te veo el 10 de diciembre, vamos a romper, los quiero. ¡Wow!